Alright, so this is part 4 of the negativity rant videos. Hopefully, I can do more in this video than I did in the other ones. I was trying to make just one, like 30-minute rant and just upload it, but it keeps on doing the storage thing, so forgive me for that. You know, even though I have plenty of storage, I've been deleting mad shit and it still comes up. Like the storage thing will go away and it'll show I got plenty of storage, and even still, and then it'll come right back up once I try to upload something. You feel me? Once I try to upload and then delete something else so that I could upload it on Facebook or YouTube, it starts doing that storage thing. Like I said, sometimes they fill it in. But where I left off in part 3 was when I was telling you about the dude in my room who I was talking to with his shoes, right? And he, long story short, he's not having respect, right? He's doing the hypocrisy that I see him complaining about for other people. Yo, can you not shine the light? Yo, I gotta keep asking these people. You know, people don't have no respect. But then when I ask you, I gotta keep asking you. I've already asked you three times at least. You know, can you not spray so much? But then I literally asked him, yo, you just sprayed mad spray. Can you not do it? Oh yeah, I got you, bro. And then he continues to spray. And then when you confront them about it, they want to feign ignorance and then act. This is the same thing with these people who say, "Oh yeah, I beat the system." You can't have a conversation with them. Same thing with therapy, right? This is what I was talking about in the first 2, 3 videos, where it's like the raising the blood pressure. It's like you got to sit there do this mental gymnastic thing with people, and then they expect you not to be stressed. Here's what they want you to do: they want you to go, "Oh yeah, I need this therapy. I'm going to go get this mental health evaluation." Then they can gaslight you into believing that you have a mental illness. Oh yeah, I have this anxiety. Like, right? I was telling her, like, yo, I'm coming from work. It's just a preference that I'd rather sit down and talk to you in person because it's more personal than over the phone. And I don't like the word that she used. She's like, oh, you don't got to be worried and, be anxious about, coming here. I'm not anxious, to be honest. That's why I didn't show up, the last time. Only reason that I felt bad was because I gave you my word. And as a man of my word, I wasn't able to show up because I've been drinking too much goddamn water, right? Trying to get my blood pressure right. And I'm like, it's not the water consumption. So what is it that's making my blood pressure high? And I'm like, it's the stress from trying to ignore all the negatives, right? From trying to become this fake characters just so that I can ignore the negatives. I got to sit there and talk about books with the therapist that she's recommended. I got to ask her for recommendations for certain things because we don't have nothing to talk about unless it's MK Ultra. And like I said, if I bring up MK Ultra, the pattern has been so far, when I talk to the police, the judges, they try to ignore it, brush it off, and then they try to redirect it. So I don't even want that to happen in third because I'm gonna just record it. You know how I get down. They're gonna try to feign ignorance. I don't want to hear their opinions about it. That's something to be discussed in the courtroom. That's why I say it every time. I say it with the counselor. I've told my probation officer. These are all things. My mental health. These are all things I want to discuss in a courtroom setting because it's caused from this MK Ultra setup system, right? Truman can't sit with a therapist, especially if a therapist hasn't gone through it, or if they've gone through it and they've already conformed. You can't talk to a therapist about that. Like, right? If I was to try to become a therapist, I would fail. Why? Because they wouldn't want my method of solution. They would not want the solution method that I would have. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. But they would not want the method that I would have for the MK Ultra and gang stalking. And if I go to a therapist, they're gonna try to, oh, you need right now, behavioral therapy, like, oh, your behavior, your reaction to it is all wrong, right? I'm not gonna sit there. You come to me for therapy, I'm not gonna sit there, oh yeah, you got a mental health issue, you got anxiety, this, that. Oh yeah, your observation is too high. And the system doesn't like it. That's what I'm gonna say as a therapist. I'm gonna tell it to you like it is. Your observation is too high. Right, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to use that against you because they're trying to use your strength as a weakness. You observe the world as it is. You see reality. They don't want you to see reality, so they're gonna gaslight you. They're gonna go, oh yeah, you observe too much. Right? That's like if they tell you you have sensory overload. I can hear a water droplet from the kitchen all the way in the back room of my house. That's some good ass hearing you have. I can see a really far distance, like past the mountains. That's some good sight you have. But when you can see through their bullshit, oh, you have sensory overload. That's not good. You need to take these pills because you're starting to see through our bullshit. Does it make sense? But then science, just like my counselor would try to tell me about science, right? Oh, back in the days, we developed certain things so for survival. You had to have keen hearing, sharp eyesight. But wait, didn't they not have sensory overload back then? Why all of a sudden in 2025 is that sensory overload? You got that in this DSM 1 through 5. When did it become sensory overload and not a survival mechanism? Do you not want me to survive in this society? They don't want you to survive unless you're conforming in this society. And you trying to conform to this society, everyone that I know that is trying to conform to society has depression, anxiety, this bipolar disorder. This is why you see people wearing this antisocial social butterfly. Does that make sense? That is an oxymoron. You want to wear the clothing that says, "Oh, I'm socially distant," but you're trying to participate in society. That's nonsensical. That is completely nonsensical. But then you put on this mask and facade and tell yourself you're okay. Mind you, you got all of these depressive episodes, manic episodes. Okay, backtrack. What are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to ignore the negatives. You're not addressing it. But these same people will tell you, oh, I've mastered my shadow. I've done all the dark side, the dark night of the soul. No, you haven't. You just ignored this shit and conformed. That's literally all you did. And that's literally what's gonna cause you the stress. Right? So when they tell you, oh, you got high blood pressure, like they've told me, I've eliminated the coffee. That was supposed to be the sugar intake. Okay, yeah, I'm adding way too much sugar. I've been drinking water out the wazoo. Right? When I was donating plasma, my joint was fine. But now all of a sudden, my genetics changed, and you just naturally have high. How does it naturally? That means there would be an outside source if it was normal before, and it spiked at some point. Right? So then you backtrack. Right? Okay, this is what I've been doing before. When I was healthy, what did I change? Oh, I wasn't doing any therapy before when sitting there trying to avoid the gaslighting and nonsense. Now I got to try to worry every single day about, okay, is my manager going to sit there and make a schedule that goes around this court ordered mental health evaluation that I don't need, but they feel like I need because of their own anxiety and paranoia that I might slash some tires again that I haven't done in over 2 years? You see, that is the definition of paranoia. When the system is paranoid, oh, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's just for the public safety. This is why they've made me a threat to public safety, right? That's some extreme paranoia. When I can slash a tire, you would make me a threat to public safety. Not even an animate object, but they're going around harassing people all day, gang stalking, MK ultra people, and you're not a threat to public safety. They're actually including the public and harassing the public. Again, people wear all of these masks and things. Right? You know how many people I've heard, oh, you gotta play the game and finesse the system. You gotta go there and tell them you got mental health thing. No, because then they're gonna discredit me, right? Something that I was doing before to make me happy was to go outside, do my little sword training, pretend like I was doing my little shit. I can't do that now. That was one of the things that kept me level. You used to see me, I would go to the cemetery, all of that. Boom, just sitting there, do my sword work, listen to my music. Now you've taken away a right of mine. Now I don't have the right to wield a weapon. Was I using it on anybody? No. So why'd you take the weapon? Because you used a box cutter to slash a tire in reaction to the harassment. We're afraid. We're paranoid that you might use a sword to slash somebody else. Did I use a sword before when I had it? No. But we gotta take it from you just in case you might. So why are you dwelling on the negative? You're dwelling on the one time that I slashed a tire in a reaction to the gang stalking MK Ultra. But you're not going to go, oh, for 30 years, just like uh, Sheriff Thornton said, from the Eastern Police, he's been an upstanding citizen since he's been here. Oh, what changed? Just the one reaction cancels out 30 years. One reaction cancels out 30 years of being a good Samaritan. Now you're all of a sudden paranoid. Nobody wants to address why it happened, how it happened, why it happened. Nobody wants to look at the video evidence that was on my phone. They still have my phone. Now, in order to get back my happiness, I gotta backtrack. What was I doing? I was, oh damn, sword training. I want to do that again. That'll make me happy. I could go outside. I'm in nature. My blood pressure was good when I was doing that, and that was my exercise. Doing the little kendo exercises, right? If I go back to that, I'll be happy. My mood will be good. I can't because you've taken away my right to wield my weapons until I'm off of probation. So now that's another stressor. If I get a mental health evaluation, you've already made me a threat to public safety. And I don't have a mental health evaluation. No, there's no diagnosis for me. If you give me a diagnosis, that's a permanent thing at that point. They're gonna go, oh, you can't have any weapons, you can't buy it. Then if anytime I have a weapon, you're violating your probation or you're violating something, and then we could throw you in jail. They gotta have like a little fail-safe type of I forget the term right now. Oh, damage control type of thing, just in case, because they're paranoid. We're gonna keep on harassing him, but he might react if we give him this weapon. Last time it was the tires. If we keep on, putting the pressure on him, he could react. Then at the time, we got to take away. It's not just the swords. You've taken my right to wield a weapon. I want to go to the range and shoot a gun. You're afraid that I might defend myself. From when they sit there and want to threaten you with knives and stuff like that, just like they did at the Allentown Rescue Mission.